Hey, crypto heads, it's the Goose with the Cryptic Paranormal Show. Welcome. Thank you for allowing us to take a break last week. We were, I don't know, probably still riding high from MadCon 3. Needed a little breather for about a week. But we're back. As usual, got D Nice next to me. Hello. What's Heisenberg shaking his head? No, what's wrong?
What?
You're down there shaking your head no. What are you doing? How are you doing?
Back.
Alrighty. All right. Our special hey Tony, what's up, buddy? Our special guest, we have Amanda Lewis from SKAR Encounter Paranormal. How are you doing tonight?
I am not too bad. I'm trying to stay awake tonight, and I'm hoping that this wine that I'm going to be drinking apparently is going to be helping me. So
that's excellent. That probably put me to sleep. I can't.
I know that's what I was actually worried about. We'll see what happens, though.
Yeah. So let's see. Got a lot of people chiming in. Hello, Peggy. Hello, Tony. Hello, Holly. Hello, Michelle. Awesome.
Karma.
Tina. Yep. Karma. Hello. So
hello.
Dark Corner Paranormal checking in. Hello, Karma. We're Dark Alley Paranormal, me and Mike.
There's Tim.
Hey, there's Tim. Gotta love Tim.
What's up, buddy? How you doing? So tell us a little about yourself, Amanda. What's your origin story? How did you get into this weird stuff that we're into?
So, really, it started a little bit over a year and a half ago. Scott and I, we had gotten into a relationship, and it wasn't until we were together for at least about a year. We started to kind of binge watch on different paranormal shows. Some people might make fun of us for this one, but we binge watched Ghost Adventures. That was like one of the big ones that we watched all the time. And we kind of reached a point where the more we were watching it, the more we kind of wanted to kind of see how it is, you know, in real life rather than watching it on TV. And at the time, well, I'm still friends with him. He's actually one of our ex-original members. I was friends with him, and I knew he was in the field already. And he kind of brought it to my attention that he's been to a couple of different places, had experiences, and he kind of just invited me and Scott along to investigate with him. So our very first location that we all investigated was the Kosciuszko County Jail. And it was basically the three of us with my best friend at the time. All four of us went and stopped at a China buffet and just kind of sat there and we're like, you know, this is pretty cool. We should make this a thing. And we're sitting there trying to come up with names and stuff like what should we make our team name be? And couldn't come up with much. So we're just like, let's just start with like the first letter of everybody's names. And that's where the SKAR came into play, which I know there's quite a bit of people out there that they never knew what the hell the SKAR, what that was.
I'm like, what?
So
you beat the shit out of somebody? And...
It's like, apparently I don't know how to spell SKAR right? You know, I had to add the K. But yeah, that's basically what got us started. We had a great time there. Of course, starting out, we didn't have that much equipment whatsoever. I think we're lucky to have like a K2 meter and even like a recorder, to be honest. We didn't have much. We didn't know what the hell we were doing, but we enjoyed it. And you know, it just kind of took off from there. I know before that, I've had experiences. Even when I was a teenager, I had some things happening in different houses that I've lived in that kind of made me question the afterlife. I know I've had my family go through some things too, things that I couldn't explain. And me and my mom used to actually binge watch a lot of shows together when I was growing up too. So a lot of my interest stemmed from watching things like Ghost Hunters, you know, the original. And another one, I don't know if you guys remember Scariest Places on Earth.
Yeah. Yep.
You remember that show?
Yeah.
That show, I love that show. That was one of my favorite things to watch during the week. So I would say definitely that's what got us started. And even now with all the different places that we've investigated at, all the different residential cases that we've had, somehow Scott is still a skeptic. Don't ask me how. He's been touched by a spirit at least 2 or 3 times. And we've caught EVPs before that just left him baffled, where he really just couldn't debunk it this time.
Yeah.
But still, somehow, he still just kind of brushes things off as like, I don't know, questions it still. So
is he
got all
scared?
of it.
Because I do that a lot, but it's because I'm scared and I don't want to admit that it was something.
You just like
I'm
talking.
like, that was a car door. Or, no, that was the wind.
I think he puts on a front a lot sometimes.
I'm thinking
he'll act like stuff doesn't scare him, but I have seen him scared when we're investigating places before, whether it was he heard like a sudden bang noise or something happen.
Yeah.
Or, even if he heard a voice, was playing a recorder, had the headphones in and heard something then and there, he's been creeped out before. But usually the only time you really freak him out is we have a motion sensor that's really, really loud.
Oh yeah.
And I love to put it in a spot that I know where he doesn't know where it's at. Because every single investigation I've used that thing, he's walked by and it goes ding, and it just makes this loud noise, and he goes, Jesus Christ. He will just like yell. It's hilarious.
I think those are the things that freak me out too. Like, because you're not expecting it, man. Like, I walk in front of many motion detectors and we're like, the fuck was that?
Yeah. Yeah, they
like,
throw me off too sometimes.
I'd rather go to I'd rather go to the cemetery for the night than to go to like one of those haunted houses where people jump out at you. Like, I hate being that kind of scared. That's a whole different kind of scared, and it's annoying.
Yep.
It's funny because my team investigated the Hell House, which is a haunted attraction / like haunted building out in like middle of nowhere, Pennsylvania. And I was more afraid throughout the night, like walking around through the different rooms, because I was afraid like they maybe left something on.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like motion censored and it like jumps out at you. So I'm like,
I think,
is there anybody here?
I think why it probably freaked you out is because I think they left it on during the walkthrough.
Yeah, I remember something moved when we were doing the walkthrough, and it scared the shit out of us. So, like, for the rest of the night, I was just afraid to walk through the house, period, because I didn't know what I was going to walk into. They're doing a haunted car wash near us. That's cool. Yeah, there's been a lot of drive-through experiences that people are putting up this year because nobody can go to the haunted house.
Yeah, make people get creative, man.
Right?
Yeah, it's one way to do it.
I'm glad to see it better than just canceling everything,
Yeah, for sure. And you think about it. You think about, like what you were saying, Denise, with those haunted attractions and whatnot. I think I would much rather bring my 7-year-old to an actual haunted place than take her to one of those places.
Yeah.
She'd freak out.
Those things freak me out too, though.
Yeah, well, yeah. Mike doesn't watch horror movies. Denise doesn't either. I'm like the horror guy. I love horror movies.
What? You don't watch horror films?
No.
What?
No.
Oh my gosh.
I barely watch. The only time I watch like paranormal stuff is if it's somebody I know or a location I know. That's it.
Yeah.
Dude, I've turned off commercials.
I'm all about horror films, but I'm also very picky about them just because I feel like there's so many out there that just like, they're trying too hard to the point where it's kind of corny. Mm-hmm. So I have a hard time finding ones that really actually scare me.
Yeah.
I will tell you though, like out of all of the horror films, I will still say that I'm freaked out by the Texas Chainsaw Massacre films.
Yeah.
Just because you think about it, it's like, there's some freaks out there that would be like this. Yeah. So I get creeped out when I watch those.
Yeah. Anything that has a potential for being real. No, not a fan.
Yeah.
Me neither.
Yeah, and all those movies, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, even like Silence of the Lambs. Some people call it a thriller. I think it's a horror movie.
Yeah.
That's very loosely based off of like actual serial killers.
Yeah.
I mean, Texas Chainsaw Massacre is very closely related to Ed Gein, who when they found, I mean, he had things made out of body parts all over his house. It was it's crazy shit, and I didn't know that until I actually watched the extras. I had never heard of Ed Gein or any of that shit, and then I watched the extras. It was after I think it was Silence of the Lambs, and they got into Ed Gein, and
I'm gonna sound like a creep saying this, but I've watched so many serial killer documentaries that I ran out of serial killers to watch on YouTube. I can't tell you what all of their names are, but I've watched just about every video out there of a serial killer.
Yeah. Nice.
It's kind of a problem.
It's just, I mean, they're interesting. I mean, yeah, they're jacked up. I mean, psychically just horrible.
Yeah.
But it's just how most people didn't know it was them. I mean, they just are a normal neighbor.
Right.
Just a run-of-the-mill guy, quiet, whatever.
Isn't that sad? Isn't that sad that your only hope is that you're the neighbor of the serial killer?
Right? I can agree with John. I saw John's comment, The Strangers still creeps him out. That's a really good movie. That was another one that actually creeped me out to watch because, that's another one of those creepy murderers that come around when you live out in the country or whatnot and come and murder your family.
Is that the one terrifying. With the bags on their heads?
Yeah, they have the sacks over their heads and they wear like those creepy little, I don't even know what type of masks they are, but
that movie, that movie, I wouldn't even watch the commercials of.
I can't blame you. Heather said, oh, go ahead.
Heather said her aunt actually testified against Ted Bundy. That's crazy.
That's very cool.
That's interesting stuff.
Wow.
But I don't know. Have you watched the Netflix series called Mindhunter?
Yes, I have actually.
Oh my God. It was so
That's a good one.
It makes me like, I want to meet Ed Kemper. Like, I don't know why. I mean, I know he's like a serial killer, but he's done. He writes children's books now. Out of prison.
Yep.
He's cut off his last head and done things to it.
He's probably subliminally starting up the new set of serial killers.
Right. Yeah. I never thought of that.
Yeah.
Did you know that his height? Yeah. Did you know his IQ is super high? Like he's a very intelligent guy. Like I when I watched a documentary about him, I was just like amazed at how high his IQ was. Yeah. But how just like his upbringing was and what he did to his mom and everything. Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's insane to listen to all that.
Yeah. And he just talks about it so nonchalantly. Like, I did this to my mom. But you know, he actually puts out audiobooks. Like he narrates books on tape.
Oh my God.
I would love to have one of those. Just lay in bed, listen to Ed Kemper read me a story.
Oh man, that would be a story.
And then the next thing we know, Ray's neighbor saying, "Well, he seemed pretty quiet."
Yeah, he was always so quiet. So nice. He always kept to himself. That's what they
Well, started when he was killing rabbits in his backyard.
It's always how it seems to start.
Yeah.
Have you guys watched Bates Motel?
No.
I watched
Bates Motel.
My wife has.
Man. That is my favorite series aside from Breaking Bad. Breaking Bad's number one, but Bates Motel is definitely number two for me. Like I watched that series a couple times. I never get tired of it. It is so good. Yeah. Like if you're into the serial killer type stuff, like that's the series for you. Also, I love that we're talking about serial killers rather than talking about ghosts tonight.
Right? We do whatever we want.
This is what happens.
It's actually every week. No, I'm good with it because it's a topic that I can go on also for hours about is serial killers aside from paranormal stuff. So it's all good.
Did you guys see that?
Yeah.
Bring that back up.
He walked past the hall after he just killed her sorority sisters. Wow.
Wow.
Holy
That's
crap.
insane.
That's so crazy.
Man.
That's a little too close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Holy crap. That's insane.
It's one of those things like, what if she would have gotten there earlier? Then she would have been one of them.
Right.
You know?
Right.
That's crazy.
My God.
Whew.
Well, thank God she didn't.
I mean, literally, if she walked past him in the hallway, it could have been a minute. If she was a minute earlier, she could have been killed.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
And Ted Bundy could talk his game, man. He could talk any lady into doing anything.
Little womanizer he was.
Yeah. He had the looks. He had the charm. That's why he was so good at what he did.
Beetle.
Yeah, right. Yeah. But as far as horror movies, I don't think I've seen like one really great one about like the paranormal. Like I mean, like Paranormal Activities, I thought they were all kind of.
Oh man, those are corny.
They're just horrible.
If you want to watch one that is kind of, I guess, paranormal, a really good one that I actually bought the DVD of because I liked it that much and it creeped me out in the theater. Have you seen Lights Out?
No.
That is a really good creepy one. Like you need to look that one up and just watch the previews. Just look up that one, Lights Out, and you're gonna be like, "Whoa!" I already know D Nice and Heisenberg are not gonna want to watch that, but
maybe I'll watch the trailer at noon tomorrow.
Oh man, when you watch the trailer, even that alone is super cringy to watch. You're like, "What the fuck?" But I love it.
I think my favorite paranormal movie to date is probably The Others. I love that movie.
Oh, I saw that movie. Is that a scary movie?
I was gonna say I can't remember that one too much, to be honest with you.
That's Nicole Kidman.
Yes,
right?
Nicole Kidman. I couldn't think of her name.
Oh yeah.
They live in the house that's surrounded by the fog.
Yeah, that's been a while. I haven't seen that one in forever.
I just thought it. I mean, especially as investigators, I thought it brought a really cool perspective to what we do.
Yeah. I love that movie, and honestly, I feel like that's what it's like. You know, I feel like that's probably pretty close to reality. It seems.
I'm gonna not be able to comment because nope.
It's not really that scary. Man.
No, it's not.
Yeah, I've fallen for that before.
No, Heisenberg, I'm telling you, it's not that scary.
Yeah, it sounds like you guys have been talking.
You should take my word for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, especially from a paranormal investigator's angle, it really makes you think about how we communicate. Like, what are they seeing from us? What do they hear when we're around?
Right.
You know what I mean? It's interesting stuff.
Which one of my I'd say one of my favorite movies actually, which I mean she is a spirit and and it's actually not a scary movie. It's actually kind of a sad movie and it's based off of a book. Have you watched the movie The Lovely Bones?
Oh,
I read the book.
I've heard of it. I've not seen it.
It's where the little girl goes missing because she basically got murdered by one of her neighbors.
I did see that movie. Yes.
Yeah.
That movie, like it's so sad to watch, but at the same time, like you really are seeing what it could be like if you are in the afterlife, especially if you get murdered, you know, like what if that is like that for them where they're kind of visiting their family and they're trying to get their attention, but they can't. Like that whole movie was just sad as hell to watch, but I love that movie.
Yeah.
I read the book and it was sad enough. I was like, I'm not watching the movie.
Yeah, it was. I cried. I mean, I'll be honest. I cried.
Yeah. I think I definitely, my eyes watered for sure. No doubt.
I don't think you can be human and not get some kind of emotion from that movie.
Yeah, I agree.
Just real quick, we got a lot of viewers tonight. I want to thank everybody real quick. And if you guys have any questions for Amanda, please shout them out. Let us know. We'll get any topic. Any topic is game. Topic. We're talking about cereal.
Sure.
We're talking about wine. I'm sure we're going to talk about pizza.
Right.
That always comes up.
Speaking of pizza, no.
That actually does sound good right now.
We've already had pizza, I think, twice this week. And I think we're about to order some tomorrow.
Here, we were talking about the movie Lovely Bones.
Yeah, The Lovely Bones.
Yeah.
Hi, Tina.
Hi, Burger Meister Heisenberger.
I was gonna say there's at least some people on here that at least that were on here, like Eddie and John. I mean, they already know me fairly well and probably are sitting here like, well, I don't know what to ask her.
Right. If I want to
probably
ask her, I'll just text her.
Yeah, exactly. Or they're thinking, she says the same crap on like every podcast. So
John will bring it back to pizza if he's on.
Yeah, for sure. He's
right. Tina's got a good question for you. Bucket list locations you want to visit.
Oh man. So I know this is one that I say literally like every single time I'm on a podcast, but I still, even if I got to sneak there, I know that's bad to say, but I would love to go to Poveglia Island in Italy. That is, I think, the number one spot. Just the history and what went on and what's like possibly lingering on that land. Mm-hmm. Like, I can only imagine how the activity would be and how I would feel over there. So that would be probably my top one. Oh man, there's so many different ones to name. I'm just trying to think of my top ones. I know one of them actually that I would like to go to. It's super expensive, but maybe if I can hold an event there, get enough people to want to go and just investigate there with us. I really want to go to Brushy Mountain State Penitentiary.
Yes. Yeah.
After I watched that one on Destination Fear, I was just like, that place looks badass. And just like the stuff that they were having happening to them when they were there, I'm like, I gotta go there. And then of course, you look up places sometimes where it's like, oh, it's like $2,000 for this amount of people. And it's like, damn.
Yeah.
Right. And you got to leave by midnight. And
yeah, exactly. They're limited on the timing. So I'm just like, it's one of those.
You can only go every other Thursday of the third Thursday of the month.
Oh my God,
Somebody's going to be with you the entire time, holding your hand.
Oh my God, yeah, that's the worst.
And that's the thing too, is with me and Scott, we have weekends off, so we can't exactly pick like weekday investigations, which sucks because as you guys probably know, Waverly Hills Asylum, they pretty much do the weekdays, and it's like, we can't really do that unless if we like have vacation days built up or something to be able to do something, which next year we do actually plan to go there with some people. That's definitely on the bucket list, is to check that one out. Yeah. But have you guys checked out Old South Pittsburgh Hospital? Because that's one that I want to go to.
No,
I want to so bad.
Yeah, that is on the bucket list as well.
Yeah, we were actually, me and Scott were talking with Gateway Paranormal, and they actually were saying that, we can investigate with them there maybe next year or something. So I was like, hell yeah, I want to go there.
I'm down. First of all, for the location. Second of all, to hang out with those guys because they're hilarious.
For sure. They're awesome.
Oh, I got my
koozie. I had a blast investigating with them.
That was so much fun.
Oh yeah, it was. It was a good time. I enjoyed it for sure. Like, as you guys know, of course, Ray, I earlier in the comments, I apologized for not going up and introducing myself. I literally, we lost track of time because we were going to every single person's booth trying to talk to people.
Yeah.
And it's like when you get caught up and you're talking to certain people and you lose track of time, you're like, oh crap.
Yeah.
But that's why last minute I went up to you, Denise, and I was like, oh my God, I didn't go up to her yet. What the hell?
And then I took a picture of you and Scott, and then I was like, oh my God, I didn't even get a picture with her.
I didn't even think about that until we left too, because I was looking at all the pictures to upload and I was like, I don't even have one with Denise. What the hell?
Hardly any pictures from that day. Goose asked
so many pictures.
You have
zero pictures I took. Big fat Goose.
0.
Goose asked me to get him a pen, and I think I came back 45 minutes later just because I stopped talk to this person, maybe get a pen 10 minutes later, and then it took me forever to get back to him. I'm like, I'm so sorry.
Oh yeah. I was chatting it up for quite a while with Cindy Harper.
Oh, I love
her booth.
Oh, she's amazing.
Man, when we investigated Sweet Springs a couple of months ago, when we were all still a team, me and her, I already knew we clicked before we met.
Yeah.
But like, man, like when I got to talking, when I met her in person, I'm like, this is an amazing lady. Like, I feel like she's literally like my clone, but she's like a mom version of me. And like, so she's awesome. Like me and her were just catching up for the longest time. And then, you know, it was nice meeting so many faces that you get to see online all the time. Right. You know, that you haven't gotten to meet quite yet. Like it was super cool. I loved it. And I definitely want to go to MadCon next year. Yeah. Definitely plan on it.
It was amazing. And freaking $10,000. Like, could we just talk about that for a second?
I know, like
$12.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
Yeah. So cool.
And like
I don't think I've been to a convention that's been that successful.
I mean, right? I think Kate asked me, she was that the combined? I was like, no, I think that was the total.
You know, the Gateway Boys did a lot of that. You know,
that's awesome.
Helped out so much with all of that. They got their Patreons to do, you know, raffled stuff off. Like they helped a lot with that. But
that's awesome.
It was amazing.
How much did they get last year for MadCon?
Last year was, I think, a little under 3,000.
Yeah.
Last year, if I'm being honest, was terrible.
Yeah.
Not
really,
not because of anything that we did or anything. It was seriously, the heat index was like 120. It was so bad, and we tried.
It was hot. It was also a very busy weekend for other conventions as well. There's a lot of
same day. That makes sense. Yeah.
You know, we tried. We had free water. We went through like 40 packs of water. Like we tried. Yeah. It was so miserable.
Yeah, that would be. No wonder people kept making comments. They're like, "Oh yes, thank God for this kind of weather." And I was just like, "Was it like bad last year?"
God, it was so bad. It was so bad. You couldn't even, like, you could just sit there and you're sweating. You don't even have to do anything. You know, it was just.
Yeah. You know, to be honest with you, that was the very first like convention that I've ever been to. Like, even with us being a team for a year and a half, like we've never been a part of anything.
Yeah.
And I was going to end up getting a booth, but as you guys have probably observed and seen, you know, we're no longer a team. It's just a duo now. So I just kept thinking, you know, do we want to take all the extra time getting all the stuff made for it and get a booth? Or do we just want to go and freaking have a good time and meet people? And so Scott and I were just like, fuck it. We're just going to go here, have a good time, meet people that we've already investigated with, you know, stuff like that. So yeah, it was a good time. I definitely plan on doing more of those.
Yeah, it was good. Well, it sucks for you because your first one was MadCon. So now none of them are going to compare. But definitely come to MadCon next year.
Oh, yeah. We definitely intend to. I mean, if there's other events, if it's not super far out, then, you know, I'll be open to doing it. But, I mean, man, I tell you guys, this month, I'm actually looking at my monthly calendar because my memory sucks. So October 24th, actually, technically the 23rd on Friday, Scott and I are actually going to be driving 12 hours to go to Vermont and be a part of Matt Warner's ghost event at Wilson Castle.
Nice.
12 hours. That's going to be miserable, but we're going to get just a hotel. Oh, yeah, it's going to be worth it. We're going to get a hotel, maybe do some sightseeing like that Saturday morning before we actually go to the castle with everybody else. And then we're going to be able to spend the night at the castle. So I'm super excited for that.
Nice.
I'm pumped up.
That's so awesome. That's on my bucket list.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I mean,
every time I hear about a location, that's on my bucket list.
I know. Every day, man.
You know what, though?
Locations.
The Wendy's over on the corner. I hear that's on it. Oh, that's on my bucket list.
You know, I don't know if this is dorky or
okay.
I don't know if this is dorky or anything, but I actually literally keep like a little journal that is my bucket list. Like I write down details of places and how much it costs, how many people can go, if I should get a hotel, or, you know, I have like pages full of this and I keep adding on whenever I find new places. And I mean, it's a dream I can't afford, but
okay. Write it down, put it out to the universe, and you'll make it happen.
It's like, if I'm doing this until I'm an old lady, okay, maybe I will someday fill this bucket list, but we'll see, you know. Oh, yeah, there's Tim. Can't wait to meet Amanda and Scott in 3 weeks. Yep, he's going to be there. It's going to be a good time. Look forward to meeting Tim. Tim is amazing. He is so supportive of everybody, and I love it. We need more people like him. Like, he's just awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I saw it one week on Facebook. I think he bought like 12 different shirts from different teams and locations, and you know, he was on a shirt buying spree.
Yeah,
he's awesome
for sure.
I mean, it means a lot to the people and to the locations. You know?
Oh yeah, it does. I know he's brought up how he needs to get a SKAR Encounter shirt, and we actually, our friend who owns a business locally, it's a really good printing business, but the way that we basically have our merchandise made is you have to have it like in bulk, like a certain amount of people have to like purchase it for us to do the full order. So if we don't have it like that, we can't really do it. So that's why we haven't really done it in a while. But I know, Tim, we need to get you a shirt. You need to message me what size shirt you need, and I'm going to do what I can to make that happen. Because I think I know some other people.
Robert said, "Can you share that list?" The bucket list.
Oh man, good God! I don't even want to walk over to my bookshelf to go. It's way too long. There's probably outdated stuff.
Like this big dusty old leather bound book she pulls out. Just
here you go.
A book of spells or something like
that. Oh man,
we did have a question, but I don't know what it means.
Reverse EVP.
I am speechless. I have no idea what the reverse EVP is.
My guess is they're meaning playing an EVP, but maybe somehow playing it backwards, which I don't know how you would do that where it doesn't go like fast, where you can't hear much, but I'm guessing that might be what they're asking.
Yeah. Sure.
And if that is the case, no, I haven't tried that.
My thought was they played the EVP they had and recorded see if anything happened afterwards. That was my thought.
Yeah, that sounds like a smarter answer than what I said. So we'll go with what you said.
No, because, like, there's a reverse mode on the spirit box and stuff, so it does make sense.
True.
To play it in reverse. But yeah, that does make sense, Heisenberg. I'm not sure. Maybe he'll answer.
Oh no.
Yeah, they might get back to us.
I think Mama Ru doing it. Yeah, there's nothing about it specifically without watching a YouTube video, which I'm not going to get into. That would be a little
right. Like, hang on,
a little rude. Hang on. Just go ahead. You guys go ahead. I'm just going to watch this little thing right here.
Oh my God, you guys! Tim just messaged me just now.
Nice.
That's funny. He was on it. Thank you, Tim. I got your message. I'll get right back to you on that.
That's funny.
So what's your guys' go-to equipment? Like, if you're walking into a situation, what do you always have on you?
You know what? I'll be honest with you. I know pretty much like the first year or so being in the field, we were like most teams where we were all like, oh, we got to get this and this and this. Like, we got to save up money and get all this fancy stuff. And like, by the end of the day, now that we're kind of further into it and the more we're going to places, we don't even use more than half of the shit that we're packing. And like, if Scott's not around, I'm useless when it comes to that stuff. I need like him to like show me what the hell I'm doing when I'm setting things up. But as far as like actual equipment that we're kind of narrowed down to that we prefer to use, lately, I have actually been trying to use my recorder on my Samsung Galaxy S10 phone. Oh, okay. I have been told that some people have been getting good EVPs just by using their phone recorder. So I've been trying that. Haven't had luck yet, but I'm still going to keep trying. We have just these basic Sony recorders. I think we got them like $40 each. We have about 4 of them. Yeah. We tend to use those. I like using motion sensors a lot. So, whether it's like a REM pod or I know the music box is awesome. Like, I like using that, but I don't want to like base that off as like absolutely like positive evidence that there's something there, you know?
Right.
I like to have multiple things. Same with the cat toys. I love cat toys. And it can be impressive when they go off, and they are they're really affordable, but you need more oomph than that. You know what I mean?
Right.
So honestly, I don't know if you guys saw my post, like after our investigation over the weekend, we went to Middle Point School with Bearded Paranormal.
Right. Oh yeah.
That was the first time I actually comfortably used my dowsing rods that Heather from Chicks and Spirits actually shipped to me. Because we're talking about it during the podcast one day, and I said, yeah, I've never used them. I don't know if I believe in them. And she's like, I'm going to mail some to you. So sure enough, she bought some and mailed them right to me. And I was like, thanks, girl. Nice. But I never like took the time to really use them until we were at Middle Point. And even though we didn't have that much activity going on, like I put a lot of my focus and my energy into using the dowsing rods, and I used to be so skeptical of them. Right. I was the type of person where I'd be watching people use them and I'd be like, you're shaking or you're doing something to make it that way, you know, like I always thought that way about it. But when you are doing it yourself and you know that you're not moving and you're properly holding them, and when you have intelligent responses, it really does kind of take you aback. Like, for instance, when I used them, and we were actually live when this was going on, Scott was recording me in the auditorium when I was using them, and I'd ask certain questions, and like I was towards the entrance of where like the stage was, and Sonia from Bearded Paranormal, she was way back away from me, like in the seating area. And at one point I asked, can you point over to where Sonia is at? These freaking things, one went that way, all the way turned to where she was, past Scott on the camera, and then the other one did the same thing. Nice. I'd ask, where are you standing at right now? Our K2 meter that we had up on the stage was going off, and as it was going off, these rods turned where the K2 was at. I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Nice. And when we were I think we were on the second floor, there's this one room that we were told that this spirit does not like women for whatever reason. So I was using the dowsing rods, and at one point I asked, you know, do you want so-and-so to do a solo session in here? And, you know, it split, you know, different directions for no. Yeah. And it did it for all the females. And then once I said, do you want me to do a solo session? Sure enough, these freaking suckers crossed. And I'm like, go figure. So I did do a solo session. And what really was awesome is when I did that, I will tell you right now, we had, I think, 2 or 3 paranormal balls and a REM pod, all this different equipment in that room with us when we were all in there. Nothing was going off at all. By the time I was in that area by myself, sitting down, going live, I had one of the balls it was like maybe barely 2 feet away from me. That ball was consistently going off. Yeah. It would not stop. Like something kept touching it. I'm like, what the heck? So of course, me being me, I try to like debunk things still. Sure. You know, not even just for myself, but to show other people, you know, like, right, maybe there's something wrong with it, maybe not. Right. Like, so I picked it up and I put it away from me somewhere else. It stopped doing it entirely. And it was only doing it when it was like near me. And I thought it was so weird because aside from that going off, I don't know if people heard it when we were live, but I did have moments where it almost sounded like something was making the old wood floor creak behind me. Like it could have been walking. Wow. But I didn't want to pass it off as walking exactly. Right.
Yeah. Brian says, Amanda, try it with sensory deprivation. You'll be blown away.
Yeah. I think that was the first time that I was like, okay, maybe this is not entirely bullshit. When I saw somebody use them and they were blindfolded and they would say like, where's this person? And it would point to that person. Like the person with the blindfold on has no idea where they are. You know, the people would move around the room, whatever. And the rods would always point to the person.
That's a really good idea. I actually haven't thought about that. So Brian, thank you for pointing that out because like I said, I am more than willing to learn from other people when it comes to trying things, especially since I'm new to dowsing rods. But I'm just saying that one experience of me using them.
Yeah.
I from now on, I'm not going to talk shit about dowsing rods. I used to talk shit. Now I just don't.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, there's a reason they've been around forever, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's tried and true. And
yeah, for sure.
It definitely is one of those
I
things
have a
that
pair
until
that
you
I have,
use it yourself. You're not going to believe it.
I have a pair myself, but I'm still weary about using them. Not for any reason other than like knowing it's already hard for me just like to hold something still long enough to like balance it and like make sure like I'm like looking at it like not paying attention to what's going on. Like
I get that.
It's not me.
Yeah. I try to use them like with my elbows resting on something. I mean, I don't use them often. I think I've only used them like twice, but I make sure that I put my elbows on something so that I know, because my anxiety brain is like, you're doing that. You're the one moving it, you know?
Right.
So just to make myself feel better, I put, my elbows on the table or whatever, just to keep them steady.
Now, when you hold them, do you hold your thumbs on top of them?
It depends. I'm trying to think how I did it. I wish I had them on me right now to like show it, but it almost is like I'm doing a thumbs up the way that I hold them. I have them like this, but my thumbs are up against it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I've been told that you can't keep them like completely like straight. You have to kind of tilt them a little bit down. So I made sure that I was doing that.
Gotcha.
Because I feel like if it's too straight or down too much, that's going to cause problems. So I'm still working on that, getting that figured out. But even if I did have it wrong when I was using them,
well, obviously you had a very
I can't explain the
result.
answer. I was going to say I can't explain the responses that I got with certain things. You know, that still kind of blew me away. But you know, it's like the same thing with Ouija boards. How do you guys feel about Ouija boards?
Meh.
Yeah.
Meh.
It's the same thing.
I mean, I wouldn't use them, but I don't see a problem with it.
So I don't know if you guys knew, but at MadCon, Scott and I actually bought Steve Brote's Ouija board. You know how they're giving him so much shit for the cost of that and his stickers and everything?
Yeah.
Well, we bought his board and we got a free sticker. So
nice.
So $7.
So, you know, it was one of those things where we bought it not only to obviously like support Steve, but like we like Ouija boards. We think they look cool, but honestly, me and Scott both we don't think they really do anything. And we've tried it at the Monroe House, and me and him being skeptics and me and him doing that together and having nothing happen kind of like validated some things for us. I mean, I'm sure there's probably going to be people that might be in the comments that might have had experiences, and I'm not going to say you didn't. I'm just saying so far for us, I wasn't surprised that we didn't have anything happen.
Yeah.
But who's to say something won't happen in the future? You know, I am open-minded to trying to use it again.
Right. I think it might be one of those things too that has to do with your intentions. You know, so if you go into it thinking this is never going to work, then it's probably never going to work.
Yeah.
You know, so
yep, for sure.
I think the only like piece of equipment that I use that like has a spiritual like meaning to it is I use a pendulum. And in questioning. And it was the same thing, just like with the Ouija board and with the dowsing rods. I was like, how do I know I'm not like subconsciously moving my fingers to like answer the question?
Yeah.
But so what I started doing was I would have somebody tell me a question to ask what I don't know the answer to.
Yeah.
And let the pendulum swing to where it may. And it worked. I mean, we were at I was filming with another team at the Gill House down in Galion, Ohio, and she was asking me all these questions about somebody she knew that I would never met in my life.
Yeah.
And I was the questions I was getting them right on.
Scott, that freaking dork! Did you see him go into the conversation there?
Right.
He's on his lunch break and he can't call me, so I'm just like, don't call me, I'm live.
Right.
But you know, the pendulums, honestly, The pendulums, I know nothing about them and how to use them. I am intrigued about them though. Like, how do you use them?
It's the same concept as the dowsing rods. Like you ask it to show you yes and no, and then it's the same thing. You ask a question, and it'll go a certain way for yes and a certain way for no. Or
okay, so there's no rule for it, like counterclockwise
no,
or something like that.
Unless that's the way it's showing you yes.
For different people, you always want to ask.
Show you what it is.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Now, see, I don't know if I could use it.
Hold it.
Right?
Yeah.
I just say that because I'm kind of a shaky person, so I feel like I would make it move no matter what.
Yeah.
Well, just like Denise when she was talking about how she puts her elbows on the table.
Yeah.
When I do it, I kind of have the top of it in between my fingers, and I have like very firmly planted on the table. Make sure like it's flat, and I just just start asking questions.
Like you're a DJ.
Right.
Yeah.
Did I tell you guys about when my 8-year-old used a pendulum at home?
It
was bad. Okay, he's already scared of ghosts, but I tell my kids that the seminary is not haunted. But we were up there one day and he saw that we make the pendulums back there, so he wanted to make one. All right, fine. So he makes one and I see him at home and he's got it and he wants to show his brother how it works. So I'm holding it and my middle son goes, "Is there a ghost in this house?" And then at the exact same time, my 6-year-old goes, "Do you know what a Pop-Tart looks like?"
That is a valid question, though.
That's a valid question.
And the pendulum started saying yes. And so my middle son freaks out, like, "Oh my God, there's a ghost here." And I was like, no, bud. They're just saying that they know what Pop-Tarts look like. Don't worry about it. Like, put it away. We're done.
That brings a good topic up, though, Denise. It made me like, maybe it's just because I have alcohol in my system, so I'm coming up with more things to talk about. But if Brian is still in the chat, we actually talked with Brian at Middle Point School, and we found ourselves asking the same questions. And then at some point, like, Scott comes out and he's just like, "Do you remember watching Mickey Mouse?" Like, he was asking all these random questions, like, "Was that out back then during your time?" And he's like, "Sorry guys, I'm trying to ask off the wall questions so that we're not like doing the same thing." So, we're talking with Brian, and Brian of course is agreeing. Yeah, we kind of get into the whole thing of asking the same thing. So why not ask off the wall stuff once in a while and see what you can get? You never know.
At MadCon, freaking Eric McGill, we're in the room with the hole in the floor where the woman was supposedly buried, and he goes, "Do you know the Muffin Man?" And no shit, the EVP sounded like it was singing the song. I'm like, what? Are you freaking kidding me?
That is amazing.
Video. I know I was recording, but I can't remember if I got that one. But it was so hilarious. But why not? Who cares?
Yeah,
right. Probably get to answering the same freaking questions every night, anyways.
I think we have awakened the Steve Broke.
I was gonna say I saw he joined. My stupid computer's freezing up, so it's like it's taken a long time for it to load up really anything for me to see comments, which sucks. But
he said if you buy a Ouija board, you get one free. You get a sticker free.
That we did.
Wait a second, Ouija board?
His ears were ringing. He heard us talking about us.
Yeah. I was going to say it was a sign for him to join in the podcast. He must have heard me talking about his Ouija board.
Or did somebody say expensive stickers?
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, I got to join.
Meanwhile,
probably said somebody's talking about you, man.
Right.
Meanwhile, what's funny on our end is we have so many SKAR Encounter stickers that we're giving them away for free.
Nice. I have.
When we see people, we're just like, "Here, have one." We just need to get rid of them.
Oh, he said, speaking of MadCon 4 is one of his goals for 2021.
Heck yeah, Tim. You need to go to that for sure.
Yeah. It's going to be a good time for sure.
I got to offload some Cryptic Paranormal t-shirts before I start buying stickers.
Right?
Yeah.
I did not learn the lesson that you did, and I bought them in bulk before I knew I had them sold.
Yeah.
So,
well, you guys bought them before. You bought them before Gettysburg, and then that got canceled. So
see, that's the thing. We were supposed to go to Gettysburg, and I knew I would have sold them. I mean, I only bought 20. I know those would have sold like hotcakes, but.
Have you been to Gettysburg before?
When I was a little kid, not for any paranormal events.
Man. It was me and Scott's first time. Like, honestly, we didn't even go to Gettysburg, like, to investigate. We just went, like, to do, like, a thing as a couple. We stayed the night at this bed and breakfast that was supposed to be haunted, and it was out in the country. Super nice. We just did a lot of sightseeing, and of course it was 4th of July, so oh my God, you can only imagine how busy it was with people protecting the monuments and everything that day.
Oh yeah, sure.
But you know, we didn't get the chance to investigate, but man, you'd love it there. I mean, if you don't remember much as a kid, you do definitely need to check it out. I
was probably 10, so I was complaining. I'm sure I was complaining the whole time. My dad was trying to drag me up into the observation towers, and I was deathly afraid of heights, so I wouldn't do it. You know, it wasn't. If it wasn't for the family, it was a horrible trip. My family did no planning for it, and we just went. We didn't have a hotel room reserved or anything, so we were in this like nasty hotel room for the weekend. It was just, I mean, it's funny memories now that it's over with, but I mean, if we're talking a bucket list, that's one of my top. I mean, that's top 5 at least. The Lookout House is awesome. Yeah, and it's stuck.
The same questions in that at some point. Oh yeah, for sure. I was just scrolling back up to see what Scott was saying. I was seeing if he was talking shit.
No, he's. I wouldn't let him get away with that. You're fine.
Oh, he's talking about the Mickey Mouse comment. Yeah. But I mean, it's not a bad thing. I think it's good when you can come up with, you know, just off the wall random things to ask them, you know, like we're saying. So,
and plus, like if you're a spirit and you're at this place and there's people coming in, you know, 5 nights a week talking to you, going, "What year is it? What's your favorite color?" You know, like you got to get sick of that. Like,
oh damn, Denise, you said 2 questions that I ask usually a lot when I go to places.
I knew it.
I need to come up with new material though, for real. Like.
It is. I mean, you get into the same rhythm like every time you do an EVP session.
You do.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and
it's almost like you're in an interview.
Yeah.
I catch myself doing this as much as I hate it, and I always like pick on other people for asking it. But like the old, "Did you die here?" question. Like how like that?
Yeah.
It's so disrespectful, and like I catch myself saying it, but it's just it's like nails on a chalkboard. Even if it's coming out of my mouth, I just want to go.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of like the question that people ask, do you know that you're dead? Like, that's kind of one of those where it's like, I've never personally asked it myself.
Right.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's not necessarily a bad question, but at the same time, I'm kind of like, I wonder if that would be rude to a spirit by me saying that. So I'm just not going to say that.
Like, I don't want to break the news to them. What if they don't know that they're dead?
Exactly.
You know? I don't want to tell them.
Right.
They're just walking around like, what?
But
am I still working then?
Oh yeah,
still doing laundry.
You know how playing back to the topic of equipment and what we prefer to use. I'm gonna take my earbuds off and reach back over here to show you guys the new equipment setup that we got recently.
Yeah.
Okay.
Give me a second here.
I saw it. It's amazing.
All right. So basically what we did is Scott and I sold our cameras that we had because we didn't want to use them anymore. We're just like, if it's just me and him, why not? We ended up getting IR night vision GoPros. Nice. Like this is our entire setup, fancy stuff.
Yeah.
Wow.
And we got the Colorado Paratech IR light right here.
Nice.
Of course, we got the microphone. We got the Rode, which I don't know if you guys have a preference on brand, but I've been told the Rode is one of the best to get, so we got one of those.
Nice.
We don't have anything that high tech, but yeah, I know Rode is a good brand name.
Yeah. Costs an arm and a leg sometimes, but and then I don't know what this doohickey is called, and Scott might if he's still in the chat, but there's this little box down here that connects to everything, and there's like basically a big screen. So what we can do is from now on, when we are investigating at places, we're going to be streaming live through our YouTube and our Facebook through our GoPro, which is we're going to see it in bigger view with our screen, and we'll see all the live comments and stuff on here.
Yeah.
But that's what this special little box does. Like, none of this by any means was cheap, so I'm lucky that we sold those cameras to make this work.
Right.
Yeah.
But we upgraded is basically where I was getting at with that.
He says just like a display screen.
Okay, yeah, display screen.
She's not talking about the screen. She's talking about the little box that makes it go on.
The doohickey.
Yeah. The doohickey box.
He just calls it display I can't talk. Display screen, because somebody else asked that on our paranormal page, and I think I answered that, and they're like, no, the box that's at the bottom. And I'm like, okay, Scott, I'm leaving this to you because you told me to say this.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah, inquiring minds want to know, because I have a full spectrum POV cam I'd like to be able to broadcast with.
Yeah.
Oh, that.
I was going to say, if you are curious, I know nothing about it, but if you want to contact Scott, he's pretty tech savvy with this stuff, so he could help you out if you do want to get some kind of setup like that. There we go.
Video encoder.
Video encoder.
Did he just make that up? Because I was trying to think of a name to make up.
I think if I remember right, he got it off of Amazon when he looked this whole thing up. We got the idea actually from Matt, because when Matt Warner investigated the Monroe house with us, he had a very similar setup, and we're like, damn, dude, like we want to set up like this. Yeah. We saw how fancy and nice it was when he was going live, and we're like, now that we discovered people apparently really like watching live investigations against actually like putting a video together.
Yeah.
We're just like, we need to get something like this. Like our cheap cameras that our whole setup it wasn't working for us. We didn't have the patience for it. So we're hoping now that we got this that, things will improve from there. But hopefully we'll have everything ready.
At MadCon, I was hanging over at the Interface Deadlight table.
They got an amazing setup too.
Justin's like showing me all this, and like he's like a car salesman. He's trying to tell me all these different rigs. He's like, "Well, here's an affordable one. This whole rig is only $500." I'm like, "God."
Yeah.
I didn't go over there because I didn't want to see him, man.
Oh man, it was rough.
Be spending money.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know what? He does amazing work though, and his production quality is incredible. So I mean, it's worth every penny for him. I wouldn't know how the fuck to use any of it, so it's not worth it for me. He does amazing.
Well, I didn't say I could figure it out.
Yeah.
But yeah, at the end of the day, our team is pretty much by the end of the night just holding recorders and flashlights.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
You know what though? The longer that we have investigated different places, the more that Scott and I realize, like, when it comes down to everything, we want to be able to enjoy our experiences, whether it's just our own personal experiences that we can't really like show proof of to people, or just like meeting and investigating with new people in the field. Like we enjoy like, meeting different people and getting ideas from them and vice versa. Like, and even just sometimes the road trip to go to these places and to be able to say that you've been there, like I enjoy all of that. Even if I can't get that much activity somewhere, to say that I've been there and look back on this experience is amazing enough for me. So I always just take something with a grain of salt and just be like positive about it.
Right.
Cause I know that, oh, hey, Jenny.
Hey, Jenny.
And I know that, oh yeah, Ireland. She's awesome. We're actually on a podcast with her.
Oh, cool.
Oh man, that's one place that I would love to go to is Ireland.
Oh,
they have some locations over there.
Yeah.
But I
think that it's hard. You know, people will be like, "Oh, well, I didn't have any experiences." Like the whole trip was an experience. What the fuck are you talking about?
Right.
Like, I loved everything about it. I don't even care if nothing happens. You know, it's just awesome to go to these places.
And that's the thing too, and that's also why Scott and I like downsized to being like a duo now and having like less equipment to deal with, is because we realized in the past when he was fiddling around with putting equipment together, putting it away, being behind the camera and not getting the personal experience like the rest of us were, he wasn't enjoying himself. He was getting more cranky about things, and it was affecting me, of course, being a significant other, you know, and, you know, it's like when you're having that going on and you're seeing in it, you know, you're observing that that's been going on, you kind of reach a point where you're just like, we got to do something to make us not end up getting sick of this field and not wanting to do this anymore. Because this is something we're passionate about. We want to be able to enjoy doing this and not hate it. And so that's where we changed it.
I love what you guys are doing. I love that you know, you take different people with you. You go, you know, you see other people's investigation styles. Like, people get stuck in their ways. And I think that what you guys are doing makes it so that'll never happen. You know, you're always having different people. You're always experiencing different things. I think it'll be really good for you guys.
Oh yeah, that's a big deal. And that's a big reason too why we decided to just become a paranormal duo, is because I not only don't want the pressure of being a founder of a team and handling residential cases and booking us places, doing all this stuff anymore. I just want to be me, and I want to ghost hunt, and I want to meet all kinds of people. And I don't want to just like have a certain, like, just like a team going everywhere and only being able to have a certain amount of people go places with us. I don't want to do it anymore, you know?
I think it's awesome. I love what you guys are doing. I think if I were to do any kind of team, I think it would be like the same thing. Not a team at all. Just take, you know, different people all the time, go to different places and learn from everybody as you're there.
And you know,
I don't even go anywhere. So
and
you're starting.
Yeah.
It's by no means, I'm not by any means sitting here saying for anybody that's watching this that is on a team, don't be on a team, change your mind. But for anybody that has either been new in this field or maybe has been on a team and is kind of like has been out of the field and is thinking about going back, I've had people ask me like, or mention that they want to put their own team together, and I'm just like, don't do it. I'm like, don't. Like, I've had people like Eddie Pence, for instance.
I love Eddie Pence. He goes with, you know, different people.
Yeah, seeing him going from a team to being independent, and he actually helped me a lot. Me and him, he's my dude. Yeah. We messaged back and forth often, and I know that was one thing that I expressed to him when I was super stressed out along with Scott when we were going through our thing. And, you know, he's like, you know what, like, by the end of the day, if being independent makes you guys happier, do it, and don't care what anybody else thinks. Just do it for you guys. And he's like, you see how much happier I am not being on a team. And I was like, hell yeah, I do. And after we took him, he's been to 3 different places with us already so far. And I'm like, he doesn't have to deal with the headaches and all that stuff of having a team. So I'm like, I need to get on this dude's level and just like be independent. And I'm glad I have, because I feel like ever since we made the choice that we made, of course it was a huge choice. I'm not even going to lie and sit here and act like it was easy for us to make that choice. I probably cried 3 different nights because of it, because it felt like you basically were in a long relationship where you broke up, is how it felt like. And I don't like hurting people's feelings. I know some people out there might think I'm an asshole just because of the way that I have my posts, and, you know, I have a very out there sassy personality sometimes, but I care very much about people's feelings, and that's the empathic side of me. So I don't like seeing people sad or mad or any of that. And So it was affecting the hell out of me when I was affecting other people by doing what I did.
Right.
But, you know, at the end of the day, I knew when we split up, you know, the rest of the members, they had a goal and they're on their own team now. They're doing their thing and I support it.
Right.
Even if any of them are on here watching, there's no hate here. Do your thing. That's exactly what me and Scott are doing. Like, there's no hate here. And I don't know. I feel like ever since we made our decision, even though it scared me taking that step, I feel like it also was good because it's been bringing so many different opportunities for us. Like, I've been getting, like, you guys, for instance, like, I've been having people messaging us to ask us to be guests on podcasts. I didn't even really have that so much in the past. Didn't happen so much. And now it's like, oh, okay, well, I guess I'm going to be the guest instead of the host on a podcast.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it's good.
That's what I like about our team is like, we let everybody go. Like, anybody can investigate with anybody.
Yeah.
Like, there's no, like, you know, there's no, like, no, you can't because they're not dark alley.
Yeah.
You know, it's like anybody. I mean, Sean's in 2 groups.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. The drama surrounding that little post, it was so funny this week.
Yeah.
He posted that he's working with Your Paranormal, and I'm like, I was just messing with him. I'm like, oh, so you're working with somebody else now. And like, I don't care. I mean, we all do our own projects. I got other stuff that I do. I mean, the show has grown, and we had Mike on, and he just kind of stuck around. But he's part of the team. But I mean, it's just we let everybody just kind of go do whatever the other person wants to do. I mean, try new things.
Right.
Get out there and experience other things. Like, you know, we have no qualms with that. It's good experience for them if they do.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. I'm totally for it. And even when I ran a team, I was the same way because we had members on our team that were also on other paranormal teams. Mm-hmm. And I was fully aware that they're going to be going on investigations with them, or they might be doing different cases that we're not a part of as a team. And I never made a problem of it. I don't feel like anybody in a team should ever have to deal with that being a problem.
Right.
You know, like, I feel like even when you are on a team, you should be able to feel like if you have friends that are like, hey, I got this place to go to. Would you like to go with me? You should never feel like you have a founder or anybody on the team like making you feel like crap for choosing to go investigate with other people. Like that's stupid.
That's what we're here for, is to investigate. Why would you stop me from investigating somewhere else?
Exactly. Yeah. So instead, it's like you should be happy for them and be like, I hope you have a good time. I hope you get good experiences. And hey, if you get a good experience, that means you can just go with, you know, us as a team next time.
Right.
You know, that's the way that I've always seen it.
That's another thing with there's nobody in our group that's the founder.
Nice.
Like,
no.
That's a good way to have it.
Another company or another group.
Technically, our founder got fired. No. Jenny wants to know, guys, what is your favorite location and equipment and why?
Oh, sorry.
Oh, that's right.
Mine's still just
I need to not touch.
Yeah, mine's still the recorder. Just a plain recorder. That's my favorite.
What's your favorite location?
Madison.
Good call.
I mean, it's not lying.
No.
Right?
No. My favorite location is obviously Madison Seminary, and at first, my favorite piece of equipment was the recorder. Now, obviously, it's my Jeff Fent made grandpa box, spirit box.
That is nice.
Oh, that's
awesome.
awesome.
It would be my favorite too.
Yeah. What about you, Amanda?
Awesome.
Oh man, for me, well, as far as equipment goes, I would probably say the same thing, just using a recorder. I'm getting closer there with the dowsing rod, so I might put that up there with a recorder. Favorite location, it's so hard to say because there's locations where we didn't really have activity, but I just love the building and I want to go back just to be in that building and experience it a second time around. So, man, okay.
You don't have to
I will say,
Seminary. I won't be mad at you.
Don't get me wrong, though. I do love Madison. I do definitely intend to go back and investigate there. I will say, as far as getting probably the best evidence we've ever had so far as the location, the Detroit 6th Police Precinct.
Yeah,
we got a full sentence EVP in the jail cell area. Me and Scott did, and that blew us away. We've never had that happen. We knew it wasn't anybody else. So I think because of that location ended up being our favorite automatically.
Yeah,
it wasn't a dull moment there. But I also definitely Sweet Spring Sanitarium in West Virginia. Cindy knows that's one of my favorite places now ever since we were there. And see, Cindy's watching. Good timing.
She's stealing us. We're going to be Sweet Crew now.
So Cindy knows that me
Cindy,
and Scott
don't forget,
are going to go back.
Yeah, me too, actually.
Just the girls.
So we fully intend to go back to Sweet Springs sometime next year. I'm thinking we're gonna go back there. I might put something together next year where we'll have a couple of different guests go with us and we'll travel and spend the night over there. Probably less people than what we had before, because to me, the less the better. So like we didn't have that much that went on with us personally when we were there, but I mean the building itself and the history, it's amazing. Like I got so lost in that place. You guys have no idea. Like there'd be times I think in the morning when we woke up and everybody else was, I think, still sleeping. I took the camera and I just started walking around the whole place by myself during the day. And I'm like, fuck, I don't know what floor I'm on. I don't know where I'm at. I don't know if I'm in the men's wing, women's wing. Like I was getting lost. And imagine how that is at nighttime in a building that size. Like, my God. You feel like you're in a maze, literally. Wow. But no, Cindy's awesome. So, you definitely need to check it out.
Yeah.
When you were talking earlier about not making it over to our booth, we didn't get to talk to half the people we wanted to. Cindy was one of them that I didn't even get the chance to like introduce myself like physically in front of her until the ghost hunt Saturday night, and even then it was limited. It was just. We got there and it was just like right away we're broken off into groups and going our separate way.
Right.
So she was one of the people that I wanted to like chat with, and luckily we had her on the show before that. So I got to know her then, and we talked on Facebook. But she was definitely one of the people I wanted to speak to. So Cindy, next time MadCon 4, or wait, is it? It's 4 next time? Oh my God, MadCon 4, you better be there, and we'll hang.
Oh yeah, for sure. Oh yeah, I'm just now catching up on the comments that people are saying since my stuff is slow. I have to keep exiting out and going back in just to see comments. It's ridiculous.
See, Jenny had a question too.
What got you all into the paranormal?
Oh yeah, you guys can answer that. I know I did earlier, but I can say it again. I'll just be last.
Go ahead, Mike. It was boy meets ghost, ghost leaves boy, boy searches for ghost. Classic tale.
Plain and simple.
That's too much math.
That was intriguing. How do you follow that up? Go ahead, Goose.
What about you, Denise? No, you go.
All right.
You go. No, you go. You go.
You.
No, you go.
I actually had a lot of stuff happen to me when I was younger. And my mom kind of always made excuses for it. Like, oh, that was just your eyes playing tricks on you, or that was a car driving by, or, oh, you hit yourself in the face with a pillow, things like that. And
wait, what? Did you say you hit your face with a pillow?
Yeah, I actually got hit in the face one time, and my mom said, "Well, maybe you accidentally hit yourself in the face with a pillow." I was like, "How do you?"
Right?
Man, that's just as good as your dad like saying that Bob Ross sucks.
Yeah,
like
my dad does not
him
like
on
Bob
TV.
Ross, just FYI. He's not a fan.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah. And my dad is like the sweetest person you'll ever meet in your life. He's amazing. He didn't even like say a swear word in front of me until I was like 25.
Oh wow.
But yeah, he doesn't like Bob Ross. But anyways, I digress. So I always had stuff happen, but my mom always made excuses for it. So I kind of like pushed it aside and basically just stopped having experiences. And then I started volunteering at Madison Seminary, and you can't ignore paranormal at that place anymore.
No.
So it all started coming back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure.
Corey, it started. That's my sister.
Oh.
It started before that, Corey, even at the Bellevue house. Remember that fucked up door that we used to have that looked like a demon? That's what I was looking at, and then something hit me in the face. And
you had a door that looked like a demon too,
yes.
So did I.
Did you live in
I'm not even kidding. When I was a teenager.
Yeah, it was fucking crazy. It looked like the wood grain on it looked like a demon.
Yes.
And there was two behind him too. There was like two faces behind him.
Oh my God. That's blowing my mind right now, because when I was a teenager, I lived in this house, no joke. My mom used to laugh at me for saying this, but I said I felt uncomfortable taking a crap because the toilet's here. I'm looking forward at the door, and the door literally looked like the devil with skeletons behind him.
Oh my God.
He had a beard, and he looked like he had a suit on. He had like these weird eyebrows. He had his horns.
So fucking weird.
And I'm just
What
like,
grade was that?
maybe it was the same company or something that made the door.
But I guys get your doors
because it used to scare the shit out of me all the time. So I woke up in the middle of the night. Listen, I was like 10, dude. I wasn't smoking.
I was like 15 and it scared me. I couldn't crap. Like, I had a hard time looking. Yeah. I had to like do that.
Oh my God, Tina had a demon door too. We need to look into this. What the fuck?
See, she did too. Holy crap. So it is a thing. I used to get made fun of by my family because of it and pointed it out.
Yeah, that's
the thing.
I was on my bunk bed and I had my arms like this and I was looking like this at the door because I thought that the door woke me up for some reason. And all of a sudden something came and hit me in the face. And my mom said, well, maybe you accidentally put your arm under your pillow and then jumped and then hit yourself in the face with the pillow. I'm like, okay, Mom. Good night.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's funny.
I can't even do it anymore, man.
I'm coughing my wine over here.
Yeah.
That being a paranormal experience actually makes more sense than what your mom came up with.
Right? That's what I was saying. I was like, thanks for all the help, Mom. That was really helpful. Right. I'm gonna get that now.
Oh my gosh.
I get it. As a parent, I don't know what the fuck I would say either.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like you scare your kids like, oh, that probably was the demon door. You know? You can't.
I'd be like, he only comes out when you be bad.
Oh shit. Nice.
The demon wouldn't have hit you. Oh, that's so funny.
Man.
My experience was kind of the same, just growing up in a house that had a lot of weird stuff. Just we would be sitting there watching TV in like the family room, and like videos would just fly off the TV. Walk through the kitchen and something would fly off a shelf, or we had a like a loaf of bread. We had a cat, so I walk through and I hear all this bread just fly everywhere, and I'm like thinking maybe the cat got into it and was messing with it, and I just look over the floor, it just spread all over the place. The bread just like flew out of the bag. Like, what the hell?
Well, maybe you threw the bread at yourself.
Yeah, maybe. But it was affecting my brother's 5 years younger than me, and we moved there when I was about 10, so he was about 5. He was seeing shadows and stuff in his bedroom, like going across the hall. Because we always left the bathroom light on in the hallway, and he would wake up scared as hell, saying he just saw people walk past. Our parents we were like in a weird. We went to a weird church, and anything out of the normal was automatically is either you're crazy or you're touched by Satan. Yeah. It's like either extreme. but and just weird stuff would happen. And then later on, we found out that the family that lived there before us, their 2 children were killed in a car accident on their way home from a friend's house.
Oh, wow.
It set off this whole like circle of events that I found very interesting. The place we lived before that house was like within a quarter mile where they had the accident.
Oh, wow.
And I remember being outside playing that day that it happened, and like seeing a life flight actually landed in the field across the street. And like there's ambulances from all over the place flying. And I never knew what it was. And then it wasn't until we were doing a public ghost hunt at Shalersville Historical Society that I put all this together, from talking to people that remember the family and remember the house. It was just crazy stuff.
Wow.
But I had an experience myself. Was actually, I went to college. My brother took over my bedroom, which was the nice big bedroom. When I came back, I had to go move back into his small ass bedroom, and I started seeing the shadows that he saw. And then one night I woke up and there were 2 dark shadows, like just basically leaning over me. Like I couldn't see a face, but like I knew like one had like long, kind of looked like long flowing hair, like the silhouette, and one was definitely a dude, and they were just like looking down at me. I was paralyzed. Everybody wants to say, "Oh, you're having sleep paralysis," but I never like fell back asleep.
Right.
I felt like compression in my chest. Like, I mean, it was a scary ass experience. And I had to like start researching myself, because like I couldn't talk to my parents about it.
Right.
They would put me in a home or pull me up in front of the congregation at church, and everybody be praying for me, So, I just started reading a lot of books. And then, the interest kind of went away for a while. And I met my wife. We were living together, and I started watching Ghost Hunters, and that kind of like re-sparked everything, because I didn't realize you could actually just go to like physically do this stuff. Like,
right,
you can go into a haunted, like you pay to get into a haunted building and like actually do investigation work.
Right.
I'm like, I gotta get into this. So I joined a group, and then that group had a bunch of drama. We went to Dark Alley, and we've been there ever since, and it's been a blast. And I don't ever see myself stopping.
Yeah. It's funny that you say that, because I thought the same thing for a while there. I had no idea that you can just like pay to go to haunted locations like this. I had no idea until I got into this field. Then when I started like, putting the team together, and then I found other paranormal teams, and I saw that they were going places, and I would check like actual websites of these places. I was like, well, I'll be damned. What the fuck? I could have been doing this for years. Why am I just now doing this?
And I started off I literally started off with people that I worked with who also watched Ghost Hunters.
Yeah.
And like 2 or 3 times a year, we'd pick like a location. We'd all pay. The big public ghost hunts. We never did like, none of us could afford the private.
Yeah. Right.
So we go do the big public ghost hunts, and we had a blast. And some of them just were there for the fun, which was cool. I don't care. I was there with my fishing vest on, with all my gear that I had picked up from over the months, looking like a total dork. But don't do that anymore.
Kate said not much has changed.
Now I will tell you guys
the dork part.
I will tell you guys an experience, which I don't know if my thing is lagging and not showing it, but my mom might actually still be watching this right now. My mom can actually vouch for me on this. We lived in the same house I just said that had that demon door.
Yeah.
Right.
A lot of people had paranormal experiences going on in that house. And so basically here's like the lineup. So my mom said that one time when she was sleeping and she had her feet exposed, like from the sheets, like hanging off outside of her bed, she felt one night it felt like cold hands just kind of went like that and squeezed her toes. And ever since then, she makes sure that her feet are covered.
Yeah.
And then my brother, he said that there was a time where he fell asleep on his bed. He had headphones in with his old CD player. And, at some point it stops playing. Well, at that point, when it stopped playing and he was already asleep, he heard something whisper his name and say Jason, like really loudly by his ear. And he he opened up his eyes immediately and nobody was there. He's also said that he saw a woman come out of his closet and just stand there and look at him. And then she walked out and went like out the hallway. And I think into the bathroom where the damn demon door was.
Mhm.
Wow.
So when he said that, I was just like, see, demons. But my personal experience that I had in that house that I could not understand was it always happened in the crawl space underneath my bedroom. Nobody else's, just my bedroom. I would have moments where I would just be in my room and I would hear what sounded like almost like an animal running across the, you know, the crawl space, you know, like the scuffling noise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd hear it every once in a great while. And I always thought, well, what the hell is that? You know, do we have like an opening outside the house where an animal's down there or something? And I would be the only one in the family that would hear it. Everybody else in the family thought that I was crazy just hearing shit. And then one time I had my brother in my room with me and he suddenly heard it. And he looks at me and he goes, was that the noise you've been talking about? And I was just like, yeah, did you hear it? And he goes, yeah, what the hell was that? Well, I shit you not. After we told my dad about it, my dad, I think it was the next day or so, he goes into the crawl space to check and see if there's signs of any animals, you know, poop, openings. Right. There was nothing but cobwebs. There was no footprints, no like markings, no openings, absolutely nothing down there showing that something was down there. And I'm not even kidding. After he checked it, maybe a week later, I heard that noise still under my room.
Wow.
And it kept doing it for the remainder of the time that we lived there. So I didn't experience like seeing spirits or any of that, but I always did feel like something was watching me in my room. I always had that uncomfortable feeling. And the more that I've gotten in the field, the more I've like had mediums read me. And when it's been confirmed that I am empathic, and when I've looked more into it and I've become more open to this, I look back on those moments and I realize I probably had those abilities at that time and didn't even realize it myself. And what I was feeling and the way my body was even reacting when I get chills and stuff was probably from having that ability, and it just didn't click in my head at the time.
Right.
So, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and be one of those people that's jabbering on about having some kind of ability, but that's just one of those thoughts that I've always had ever since I've gotten in the field. I'm just like, I used to always be so skeptical of this and skeptical of my own ability. Right. I've had like 3 different mediums say that I have healing abilities and I'm empathic, and I'm like, no, you're reading the wrong person here. But I don't know. You guys know how it goes. Like the more you open up to this and open up your senses with this stuff, like it's crazy what your body reacts to, whether you have abilities or not, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
We had a question from Jenny, but real quick, I wanted to go to Matt Rice's comment.
Yeah.
And this is a kind of a big deal. Everybody who knows Steve Hummel knows about the Archive of the Afterlife, the museum down in Moundsville that he runs of haunted objects. Mm-hmm. The city has recently shut him down, and he needs everybody's help. If it's a very important location for us as paranormal investigators. Yeah. He's put so much into his collection and so much into sharing this with people who are interested in what we do. Seriously, if you guys can help donate, their link is here. It looks like they got a GoFundMe or some kind of I think it might be a Facebook donation, Matt. Correct me if I'm wrong. But the link is right there. It's on Facebook. If you could donate a couple bucks or just share it along to everybody else, that'd be huge. I think she's trying to raise $5,000 on that fundraiser, and they got like almost 1,500 so far. So, so they need our help. He needs to stay running because he's put so much into it. So
yeah, for sure. Oh man.
Oh, it's PayPal. He said.
Yeah. Okay. It's PayPal. So we'll definitely be pushing for that. We've had Steve on the show. I've talked to him numerous times. I met him down in Moundsville before an investigation, before I really knew who he was. So, yeah, we need to help him out. So going back to Jenny's question, Amanda, did you ever find out the history of the home you grew up in?
You know what? We never did look into it, but now that she brings that up, I really am intrigued to try to see if I can find anything on that. I have to remember the address, to be honest with you. Like I know the area of where it is, but I don't remember the address. That's one of those things, but I know the neighborhood itself has gone downhill throughout the years since living there. And they actually, it's so crazy to think about. They found a dead body in the cornfield, which was right near where that house was. And that was the same cornfield that I used to go as a kid and just randomly go in there and play in. And to think that this, like just a year ago, somebody got murdered and their body was just like left to lay there is like so morbid to me to think about.
Right.
So it does make me wonder. I know that wasn't like the best of neighborhoods. Even when we lived there, it wasn't. So you never know, you know, maybe something happened in that house before my parents bought it and they never knew it because it was pretty cheap. I feel like maybe there was a reason.
Or even on the grounds or in the area or something.
Right. Yeah, for sure. Definitely. I know there was like this empty, there's no house built there. It's like our house and then it's kind of like this empty little field and then they built a new house next to that. So who knows, maybe even something near that empty field or underneath the house itself, you know.
Right.
You never know. So definitely worth looking into, but that was a good question.
Is it normal to have a crawl space like just under one room? Like not under the whole house? It was just under your room?
Yeah, it was just under my room. Nobody else heard the noise ever in their rooms. It was always my room where I heard it. It was weird. I never understood.
Yeah, we have a basement, but we do have a crawl space that's right under our bedroom, and that's it.
Yeah.
Like every other house is covered by the basement, but
that's interesting.
Our bedroom is the crawl space.
Yeah. I am fortunate, and Scott and I got a house that's on a slab, so I don't have to worry about hearing some crawling shit coming back at me.
Tino's asking if you explore or investigate graveyards.
We actually do have a graveyard that, well, I should say cemetery. I know there's a difference between the two. I believe cemetery is more of the proper term for, you guys know where I'm getting at when I'm saying that?
One's attached to a church and one's not, I think.
Yeah, something along those lines. Well, this one in Fort Wayne, Indiana is called Lindenwood Cemetery, and it's supposed to be one of the most haunted ones around here. Scott and I actually just during the day took a stroll around and checked out the different headstones and everything in there, and we didn't actually investigate it. I'm open to trying it. And it's nothing against anybody that chooses to do it. But for me personally, I kind of struggle with the thought of like investigating in graveyards and cemeteries because I don't know, to me, I feel like that's an area where people are trying to be at peace. And I feel like I'm disturbing them by going in there and using different equipment and trying to talk to them all. And then I think about this too. What if you go to these places and let's say it's bad timing. There's somebody that shows up that's there to see their loved one and they see you with your equipment.
Grave, yeah.
Like, I feel like I would be offending people and I don't want to offend people by doing that. So that's why I guess I've never like gone that far to try it that way.
Yeah.
But again, it's not against anybody else, you know, who does it. And I know there are certain locations and graveyards where it's much more secluded where you can do that, where you're not really going to have to worry so much about people just showing up. But I personally, I haven't really done it so much.
Same.
No. I think the closest we've ever been to investigating a graveyard would be a couple weekends ago. We met at Schneider Park in Akron, but it's a park now. It's not. It was It used to be
not just a park.
What's that?
Park.
Well, it used to be. What was it again, Mike? It was a
Summit County Infirmary, like or Summit County Poorhouse, but mainly infirmary.
Yeah, so there's a bunch of
people that like. There's just this big. It was on this big, massive, like area that they would walk down, go to what was it? They walk down from the infirmary. But there was a spot that now has become a park where they had buried people, and there was bones coming up from the early as the 90s, or latest the 90s. So when you look on Google Earth, you can see the depressions that look like actual grave sites.
Yeah,
they're pretty small, so there's a good chance a lot of them were children, that were born out of bad circumstances, in the actual infirmary, because you know what I'm talking about. So a lot of them look very small, at least from above, but you can see, and there's different spots. There's some over by this tree. There's a little bit over by this tree. And I guess they had an archaeologist and anthropologist go out there, and there was something there. Not sure if there's anything right now, but I doubt they got everything. Right. They were probably hastily doing that.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was the closest we've ever done anything like that.
Yeah, it's just a location where there were possibly still unmarked graves. There's a lot of urban legend around it. And Tina had mentioned there is the documentary on PBS called Forgotten Dead, which was very good, and it's a short documentary.
Yeah, it's only 27 minutes long, I think.
Yeah, it goes back and it dives into a lot of the history of the place, how we used to handle people, with autism and mental handicaps. So it's just interesting. But yeah, that's the closest we've ever been to investigating.
Yeah, they play soccer and stuff on it now.
Yeah, it's a soccer field. The only mention they have of what it was is this tiny plaque that's on a park bench.
Yeah.
But who reads? Yeah, there's no memorial really besides that there. So
I think that's definitely different than investigating at a cemetery, because it's not those people didn't have family, and if they did, they didn't care about them. You know what I mean? It's not like their family's going to be coming to visit, or you guys aren't really anything disrespectful.
Yeah, for sure.
But it is an interesting documentary.
It's a crazy story.
Amanda, have you been to the Inn of at Aberdeen and that word Valparaiso? Valparaiso.
I've been through Valparaiso, but to be honest with you, I don't think I've heard of that inn before. That one would be a new one for me. So that's something that I need to look up myself, to be honest.
Put it in your notebook, Amanda.
I was gonna say I gotta add it to my little notebook. But I wish I could say, oh yeah, it's totally worth checking out, being 5 hours away from you. I will say though, if you have that drive to check a place out that's supposed to be haunted, and if you have the funds to do it and whatnot and the time, go for it. I mean, we've gone quite a long ways at different places, and even if we didn't have activity ourselves, like we were saying earlier, I still was happy that I was able to actually go there regardless. So I think it's worth it.
Yeah, I mean, to me, if you go there and it's maybe not the most active place, you got to go see and witness a historical location, or just
right.
There's always a positive to the trip. I mean, it's never not worth it to me.
Yeah, I always go with awesome people. So even just going and breakfast the next morning, or the drive down or whatever, it's always a good time. So
especially now, it's just such a especially now, it's just a breath of fresh air to get out and do something. Right?
Yeah.
So I would say
really
5 hours. 5 hours away from work and from stress of everyday life. Yeah.
Do it.
Heck yeah.
Like too short to postpone trips, Tina. Take the trip.
Yep. Do it, Tina. Just
Do it.
I mean,
Do it.
you get a pair of hangovers sometimes, but to me, it's still worth it. It definitely is.
Yeah.
All right. Glad we made that decision for you, Tina. Anything else?
Have you guys ever like investigated overnight somewhere where you literally like didn't sleep at all and then had to drive back home?
I do it all the time.
Yeah, we do it all the time.
Yeah.
We actually drove. Well, we drove all the way to Waverly Hills and back in one day.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
We've done Trans-Allegheny too.
Yeah.
A couple times.
Yeah, Trans-Allegheny.
Like 3.5 hours though.
Hey,
that one's not too bad. Yeah.
At 3 a.m. driving back and you get home at 6:30.
Yeah.
It's a long time, be nice.
Yeah.
Well, we went to Moundsville, and that's only like a 2.5 hour drive, so it's not bad. But the problem is, we got there at like 5 p.m, or like I think it was even sooner than that, and we spent like 5 hours at a coffee shop waiting for because they don't let you in until midnight. You can't start your investigation until midnight. So we're like, what the fuck why did we come down? We were so excited, like we're gonna go see Moundsville during the day. Like, okay, this is Moundsville during the day. All right, let's. They got a Walmart. They got a Walmart and some restaurants, and the Mound was cool. I mean, it was cool seeing everything, but it's just like any other town. It's just, there were a whole lot of sights to see, but
their investigation hours start at midnight.
But for the private investigation,
they
wouldn't let us in until midnight.
That's nuts. I've never heard of that before. Usually people are like, oh, come at like 4 or 5 p.m. or maybe sometimes like 7 or 8 p.m.
Yeah.
But then, we're in there until sunup, and then we drive all the way home. By that point, I'm like,
oh my gosh.
And I was actually driving. That trip, it was me and my brother and a friend of mine with some other people. And I drove all the way back, and I was freaking dead.
I don't think I could do it.
There's one place that I stayed. I didn't stay inside. I went to the Emmett house and my truck battery died. And I had to make the choice. Do I go ghost? Do I go investigating, or do I go get the battery? Well, obviously, I decided I was going to go investigate.
Right.
I slept in my truck that night.
Priorities.
Right? You didn't drive all that way to buy a battery.
Then you should see me carrying the battery. Those things are heavy, man. I was carrying the battery like 3 or 4 blocks. I was like, geez.
Oh my gosh.
I drove to Hinsdale House and back. I mean, that wasn't too horrible.
But parking lot.
Yeah, I know. I took my CPAP machine and had my car converter so I could take a nap, halfway back. But
I drove.
But you know me, dude. I can't do the drive.
Yeah, I drove back and forth that night.
He usually drives, if anybody drives, and I'm usually snoozing either all the way there or all the way back.
Yeah,
I'm a great person.
Between me and Scott, when we've like investigated at places, like I need my sleep or I'm a complete asshole. So like if I don't at least get like 4 hours of sleep, I don't know, I can't function. There's no way. So he's unfortunately got the bad end of things where he's usually the one that has driven despite having crappy sleep. But there's been times where I acknowledge that he was like really bad off when he was driving, where I'm just like, okay, my turn to drive now. Just let me do it, So sometimes, like for when we go to Vermont, this month, we definitely are going to take turns with driving because 12 hours for one person to do, that's a lot.
That's a lot. Yeah.
But we're looking forward to it regardless. So, and I think aside from that, our longest other trip we went to Fort William Henry last year. And that was in New York. So I think for us, it was almost 11 hours of a drive.
Oh, wow.
That was rough. I mean, the scenery was really nice. It was beautiful over there. Like, whew, I know New York had a lot of that corona going on, but if before that happened, I would have been like, man, I want to move over here because there's not much going on in here in Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Sometimes that's not a bad thing, though.
No.
True.
I think one of the times I drove back from the Emmett house, like I was having a hard time, like the lights were blurry in front of me.
Oh, geez.
Everything. So we stopped at McDonald's. I got something, and I was able to go some more, but I was like dying. I was just like, oh my God. And I was the only one, like Kate was really tired, I think, and you were in the back seat, half asleep.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh my God.
Goose is like, no shame. Yep. I was sleeping. Yep.
I can't hang. Sorry.
I get that. Trust me, because I'll be the one in the car that's sleeping more than half the time.
Yeah. I mean, smaller trips, I'm all right. I can last two hours ish. I've been better the last couple times we've been anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you're probably more excited to get out though too.
Oh yeah.
It's a lot more.
Yeah, and I mean, well, to be honest with you, I feel like these past couple of months we were doing so many investigations back to back. Like literally, I felt like every other weekend we were going somewhere, and it was far. It wasn't even like close stuff. So we almost actually got used to the distance, you know, with how long the drive was.
Right.
I can't even think of the order in which we did everything. All I know is like all of them were like at least 5+ hours away.
Wow.
So when we were doing that back to back, I think finally Scott reached a point where he's just like, please don't book any more places right now. I was like, okay.
Need a vacation from vacation.
Yeah. Right?
That's what it feels like to me.
Well, now his little break and mine as well after Wilson Castle, of course, is going to be us doing our podcast that we've been doing. Yeah. We are in the works for having, I don't want to give too much information away, especially for wanting to, you know, announce everything, but by November, we're hoping to launch something completely new. We'll make the announcement. We're going to be having, let's see, it's October 9th on Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern time. We're going to have Josh from Animal Live Paranormal on there with us. And that's where we're going to come out with our announcement of what we got going on. Have you guys talked with him or anything? Do you guys follow his page or any of that?
I don't think so.
No, I don't.
I was going to say, I know. I mean, he's been in the field for a while. He's an awesome dude. He just, I crossed him one day and saw he's got his own live podcast. And I was like, this dude's really cool. You know, he seems like a good dude. And, you know, he's all about the para unity and everything. So I've been keeping in touch with him. And he's actually the one that, you know, messaged me and brought this whole idea that's, you know, that we got going on. So I'm excited for it. It'll definitely be nice to be able to do it, especially during downtime, you know.
Right.
When you're not investigating. But of course, next year I got a lot of different places that I definitely want to check out. And the ones that we discussed, well, not Poveglia Island, obviously, but the other ones definitely I intend to check out.
It's a long drive.
Life's too short. Did you not hear the story?
Yeah.
I know.
You can't tell Tina what we tell her and not do what you want to do.
Right?
Just go. Get in the car. Drive to Italy, you know, no big deal.
Yep.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That's awesome.
Last minute for any questions for Amanda before we sign off for the evening.
Or Amanda, if there's anything else you want to.
Yeah, if there's anything else you want to plug. Or...
I'm trying to think on my end. I'm just kind of scrolling through this here.
Eat the cake.
Eat the cake, you know. Eat the cake strip.
Yep.
Oh, I guess, I mean, I'm so used to being the one asking people questions instead of them asking me questions. So I'll ask like you guys questions. What is your favorite location?
Madison.
I was gonna say, I figured you'd say it.
Well, I haven't been to Sweet Springs yet, but I feel
like on trial here.
Madison Seminary is my favorite location. Probably the most active for me though. In like one night that I've been there is Farnham Manor in Richfield, Ohio.
What is the name of it?
It's called Farnham Manor. It's an old mansion. Really close. It's like within 20-minute drive from my house. The only issue is right now is actually I think they're looking for a new buyer and it's kind of close to any investigations. I'm afraid it's going to get. I'm afraid it's going to get.
Breakfast, isn't it?
What's that?
It's going to be a bed and breakfast, isn't it?
Bed and breakfast, or I'm really afraid they're going to level it or turn it into something. Yeah, not looking good for them right now.
Weren't they?
Upwards of like $300,000 to $400,000 for the buildings and the land. Yeah.
Yeah, they're not going to do investigations there.
Yeah. It's horrible. But like as far as like EVPs and like things that have happened like in one night, a span of one night, that's definitely was a crazy place.
Oh yeah.
But Madison is always my top.
Yeah. I was gonna say I think the more that I definitely next year I want to go back to Madison, where it's me and Scott and a select few people and try it out again. I mean, it was pretty much essentially for us, it was almost kind of the same as Sweet Springs. I did have, I feel like, experiences in Sarah's room, and I had equipment going off the moment I left the room. We're live, and I had equipment just going off the moment I left the room, but it was quiet when I sat in there. So I'm like, do you want me in here or not?
That's Madison. It's like the
redirection.
Yeah, it was definitely unpredictable, but I was impressed with it. I really love the building and the history. Adam is he's awesome. Love what he does to the place. Yeah. Beth is saying she wants cake now. Now, Beth Anderson, she actually is our psychic medium friend that is going to be investigating the Kosciuszko County Jail with us.
Oh, cool.
I got us booked for October 10th, so we are going back. Cool. We're going to be going with her and Amanda Sutton from Paranormal XL, so I'm really excited. I don't know if you guys knew about that, but for a while there, Kosciuszko County was closed down. As far as investigations went, they weren't holding anything. Rest in peace, Evelyn. But Marion Prater, since she was the only one left, coordinating everything. I think they had to get a new event coordinator to fill the spot of Evelyn, who passed away earlier this year.
Oh, wow.
And so her whole thing was she went months of not sure that they would be having investigations going on. So me and some other teams were just like sitting around and just waiting. So we're like, we want to go back. Come on.
Oh, wow.
But I just saw Phil from Heart City Paranormal booked there, and I was like, oh yes, finally. So I contacted Marion right away, and she's like, yep, we're open for investigations. Good. So for anybody watching this, if you do come into Indiana, definitely check out Kosciuszko Jail. I think it's an amazing place. We caught good activity even that first time of us being there, so definitely worth checking out, and it's very affordable, so that's also a plus.
And definitely, I feel bad for these locations. They were shut down for so long, not making any money. They still have the same bills to pay. So if anybody is thinking about making a trip anywhere, just book the freaking trip. Just pay your deposit, book your trip. If you've got the money, do it. These places need us now.
Yep.
Agreed, for sure.
And there's a lot of good deals on hotel rooms and all kinds of stuff on travel right now because people aren't doing it. So. They're trying to get all the help they can get everywhere, every business. It's crazy time. We're actually our group is talking with local business, Julie's Music Room in Akron, about possibly running some public ghost hunts for them.
That'll be cool.
Is that the picture you posted? That brick building? Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's right in downtown Akron.
Awesome.
We're still in preliminary talks. They want us in. We know they want to they want to have some paranormal events there. We're trying to figure out like in what capacity we can do it, because it's no Madison Seminary. It's no 70,000 square foot building.
Yeah.
We're trying to figure out how we can do it, and we still have to have a sit down with the owners, but we know the owners are wanting us to do it. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Plus, I mean, and this is actually to help out financially with the business they're not getting because they cannot open as a music venue.
Right, exactly.
Because they do have amazing food, so they are making some money like doing carry out and delivery type stuff, but they don't have the crowd inside. They don't have capacity for a patio, so there's no outdoor dining. So they're struggling, and they're looking for other avenues. And there's been other teams that have been in there, and there's all kinds of people that have worked there that have had some crazy paranormal experiences.
Awesome.
Sounds like the history is pretty deep there. I mean, the building has been there forever. Probably one of the oldest buildings in Akron. So it'll be interesting.
Some research on it.
Yeah, have you? You'll have to let me know what's going on.
I have. Yeah, I'm just starting.
Awesome.
Okay.
But yeah, keep an eye out for Dark Alley, and hopefully we get that rolling and start helping that place out, because it is a historical building, and I know she's really trying to keep it running. So
yeah,
keep an eye out for that. It's just a hard time for everybody.
Yeah.
It sucks.
Agreed.
And it's next to the best pizza place in Akron.
Luigi's. Yeah.
There's the pizza. We made it. We were so close to have a whole episode.
4 minutes to the end.
About pizza. Holy shit!
I'll always bring it up.
But I will vouch for it is the best pizza in the greater Akron area. And if you like salad, that's just a little bit of lettuce and a whole lot of cheese.
Hell yeah!
You got to go to Luigi's.
Salad.
Yeah, like you can't even find the lettuce. There's so much cheese on top of it.
So basically, rabbit food with a lot of cheese on it.
Yeah,
Got it.
Yeah. I call it a cheese salad with some lettuce.
Nice.
But awesome. What's up, buddy? Happy October 1st. Happy full moon.
Yay.
Heck yeah.
Nice. I'm actually kind of digging this like 50-degree weather right now. I wasn't expecting the rain today, but Tim Shune, Madison is very high on the bucket list, as it should be.
Yeah, you have to get out there soon.
For sure.
As soon as possible.
If I got to drag you out there myself, we got to go.
Yeah, and I know Brian just mentioned Fairfield Infirmary.
Yeah.
He said he had some good experiences there, so that's another one that I need to put on my list for next year's Fairfield.
Yeah.
Yep.
I've been there a couple times. It's pretty crazy.
We got to get out there. Help some stuff out.
Now, is that building larger than Madison Seminary?
You know what? They say it's not, but it feels like it. Madison's very straightforward. You know, you walk up the stairs, you got the hallways that go this way and then this way. You know, it's if you get lost, you just find that you can't really get lost there. You might mix up like the floors or whatever, but you can't like not find your way out. But like Fairfield's weird, man. You'll open up a door and there's like a staircase. Like you think that it's just like a door to go into a room, and there's a random staircase. I think there's like 4 staircases there. Like it's
holy crap.
And then because it was, additions and everything, like none of the floors are even. Like this is all the same, but this is the first floor and the second floor. You know what I mean? But they're right next to each other. I don't know. It's
oh man.
It just seems way bigger because it's very confusing.
Yeah.
That's like real Scooby-Dooing at that place, huh?
It is. When we went, the first time we went, I took my 16-year-old with me. It was a work trip. We weren't investigating or anything, but everybody was eating pizza. So I asked Ryan, I was like, do you want to just go walk? We'll go walk and look around because I hadn't seen the place yet. So we're walking and we're gone for like 45 minutes. And then all of a sudden we end up on the same spot, like where we just got pizza. And I'm like, how the fuck did we even get here? Like, I swear we went up a bunch of stairs. I don't remember coming down that many stairs to get there.
Yeah.
I was like, it's crazy. It just doesn't make sense to me. I don't know.
I can't wait for our team to get in there and check it out.
Yeah.
You get directionally challenged for sure.
Yeah.
I get directionally challenged walking around my house though. So I'm in big trouble.
Yeah, it's definitely weird. It's definitely different.
Yeah. That's cool.
I'll walk out a door and end up at Madison somehow.
I feel like at Sweet Spring Sanitarium, there were certain floor, like the way it's set up kind of confused me too, because there's like this floor that we all basically called it the 2.5 floor.
Yeah.
Because like you couldn't tell if you're on the 2nd floor or if you're on the 3rd floor. It was almost like it was in between. It was really weird. And that's the one floor that like I feel like probably had activity that was actually going on with it.
Yeah.
So that's what we were all calling it to remind each other. Oh yeah, go to 2.5 floor. So we just called it.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, it's about that time, kids. Amanda, I want to thank you for being on the show.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you
awesome
for
time.
having me. Appreciate
Absolutely.
it. It's nice
We need
talking
to
to you
do this.
guys.
You too. We need to do this again.
Mhm.
And
Yes, for
we
sure.
need to. Hopefully, we got to get together and ghost hunt sometime and do a little investigating.
Yeah, that'd be
I
cool.
agree.
For sure.
I love it. Be
Yeah.
sure to hit me and Scott up. We'd be totally for it.
All
Yeah.
right, cool.
Absolutely, we will for sure.
We love you, Cindy.
Yep. We love you too.
I had to get that in there.
Yep. Sorry, I was reading Sean's comment. Old Licking County Jail. Yeah, it's a confusing for being a smaller old jail. It's definitely Scooby Doo in there too. You're just you never know where
you
you're
can walk
at.
all the way around the cells, and you're like,
Yeah.
you know, you just kind of like, wait, where am I at?
Yeah, right. But all right, crypto heads, that's another episode of the Cryptic Paranormal Show. We will spook you later, and we will let you know who's on next week.
Yeah.
At some point. Yeah, right. It's always a surprise here at the Cryptic Paranormal Show. Right? But Amanda, again, thank you so much for coming on. We'll be looking forward to seeing what you guys are coming up with. Make sure you guys follow SKAR Encounters Paranormal. They're always up to some good stuff. So awesome having you on the show.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yep, you bet. We'll speak to you later, crypto heads. Have a good night and have a good weekend.
Have a good night.
Bye.